My name is Darren Oscar, and I'm running for the President of the United States on what you call the write-in ballot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real. And the only way I'm going to be able to do my campaign from here on out is I'm going to need your help to get me there. And I'm going to prove how you will not be wasting your vote. You see this little board right here? I figure, because of the Chick-fil-A event that happened 1 August, the Michael Huckabee, and in regards that people wanted to stand up for the traditional marriage. All it took was 4 or 5 days, and it was all done by word by mouth. And I'm saying we can do the same thing. If I get just 4 out of every 10 votes, then this little board of mine is going to help out and prove that. Take a look at this. Everybody's worried about how they're going to be wasting their vote. If I vote for either one here, or if I vote for Hynoski, the write-in ballot, they feel it's going to help the other candidate actually win. But ladies and gentlemen, they're split right down the middle right now. And they're going to stay that way. Here's another thing too. Look at it. If you don't see my name nationwide for 3 days, then this thing ain't going to work. You and I both know it. But if I get 4 out of every 10 votes, I can win this. Why? Because take a look. If that means I'm going to get 40% of the votes, and it's going to be one district at a time, electoral college, don't worry about that. Let God do the rest, just like he did for the traditional marriage thing on 1 August. Look, if I get 40%, you see how close that is to 50%? That means these two parties have got to fight over what, 60%? Look at the numbers. What about the Democrats get 24%? And the Republicans get 26%. Again, there it is, it's so close. Remember, the point here is that I got 4 out of every 10. If we get 4 out of every 10 and it's word by mouth, then ladies and gentlemen, we're going to win this. Look at this. If you yourself know 3 people talking about this write-in ballot, then figure also, each one of them know 3 people. And each one of them know 3 people. Your vote will not be wasted. And if I get anything over 40%, like 41, 42%, look at 45, just if I get that, look at how close that is. And they're going to fight over this? How are they going to even come close to me? Your vote is not going to be wasted. We're being fed a bunch of crap. And it's about time we wake up. Ladies and gentlemen, come on. Look, as the President of the United States, okay, this is my teleprompter. As the President of the United States, I will support and defend the Constitution with all my power and all my might, just as if I was a retired Marine for 20 years. I will lead our military and I will defend any infringements on family principles. Look, I want jobs now, you want jobs now. And we can get these jobs right now. How can we get this? Okay, I want to propose for 120 days to put 2.5% corporate tax. And I want that to be only again available for 120 days. I want jobs now. We're talking about the big corporations. We're not talking about small businesses. After the 120 days, it will increase 5% every month until it reaches 30%. Now look, okay, if these individual corporations are now coming back, Congress has got one heck of a health care and retirement plan. These corporations can now afford it. If it's good enough for Congress, it's good enough for us. And now we can get that in this freaking health care bill they're trying to give us? No way. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want a perfect candidate that talks really good, then you've got 2 perfect individuals out there right now. I hear there's 90 million of us that don't know what to do. In fact, they don't even want to vote at all because of what they've got in front of them. Again, I'm going to need your help, and I'm going to tell you how you can do that. But let's continue with my idea here. How is Congress going to, why would they even consider it? Because I'm standing in front of them and I shouldn't even be there. There's no way I should be there. But if I am, they're going to have to start taking up these issues. I'd also like to see the same wages that a federal employee gets. Look, now you're up to maybe, what, 7%? And you were paying 30%, but now you're up to 7%? And another thing, too, what about those coal power plants that are having trouble? They're closing all over the place because they can't afford the EPA regulations or all the restrictions that the IRS is putting on them. They can afford them now. That's why we can get these jobs now. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we need to get things straight. And you know what? President Obama did come out and say something I liked. And that is, he believes that everybody should pay their fair share. I completely agree with him. So let's get rid of the 16th Amendment and let's put out what they call a fair tax. It could be another one. But look, we need to get rid of the IRS. The restrictions and everything they're putting on us is just too much. Businesses can't even start. They're telling me that they just can't do nothing. Hey, they say follow the money. The money's doing great. What about you and me? Hey, what is this, $4 or $5 for gas? You think anybody's going to do that? They're going to change it? How long are you going to take this? You know, oh, you got to go to the gas pump and pay exactly what they want. You have a chance. You can put me in there, but you're going to have to help me. What I want to do is when I figure out the fair tax, what, 12–15% should be the norm. In addition, what about the individuals that when it comes down to, I want to fight the health care bill, but I want everybody else to be taken care of. And I want this covered tonight. These are the items I want covered. And that is, I want all emergency room visits. I would like all pregnancies, walk-in clinics, dental and eye care taken care of. And I want to be able to do that by having just a 1% consumption tax, meaning anything you eat and drink, you put 1% in. And that means that if you are getting food stamps and you're getting maybe $300 of food stamps, $3 of it is still going to go towards this tax. We can pay for this. Remember, we're not paying any income tax now. We're just doing a fair tax. Everybody's paying 12–15%. Let's go a little bit further. Stay with me just a little bit more. When it comes down to the immigration issue and the Hispanic community, you are being shafted. The idea that you've been invited here unofficially for over 20 years. And now, you got an open borders right now where you don't even know what you're getting. You're getting these visas and there's no promises at all. But you are getting away from what you're doing, what's down there in the border. The cartel, you're getting away from, you're getting jobs. You know what, if I was down there, I'd probably be coming up here too. But I'm getting tired of having to hit 2 for English. Ladies and gentlemen, Tip O'Neill is right. We don't want to send back grandmothers and kids to Mexico City. We don't want to do that. But since they created this problem, let's do something else. Because right now, if they wanted to do something, when the Supreme Court Justice came up, Chief Justice Roberts said, the executive branch has the sole responsibility for immigration. Now the same branch is refusing to do its job. Yet, not one individual from the Republican or the Democratic Party has challenged them, or the executive board. They can do whatever they want. If they really wanted to do something, if they're doing it so bad, they would have come up and challenged them. They would have asked for Janet Napoli's job. They haven't done that. Why? Because they want the same thing. What about let's look at Harry Reid. 30 times Congress has come up there and repealed the health care bill. Harry Reid's ignored it. So why hasn't anybody from the other side, if they're doing it so bad, the Republican Party, come up and censure Harry Reid? Why? Because now they can come up to you this election and say, hey, 30 times I voted to get rid of the bill. They don't have to worry about it because Reid's not going to do a damn thing about it. And you and I are getting stuck with it. So the way I look at it, they're just as responsible. So since they created this problem, I want them to pay for it. And I'm talking about the Republican and Democratic Party. You know, it's really amazing. If someone that finds out they're going to have to pay for something, then all of a sudden they'll start doing their job right. One more thing. As a Commander-in-Chief, anybody that is in the uniform code of military, anybody that's in there while in uniform, making public their bedroom activity will be removed from the armed forces of America, and they will be discharged in honorable conditions. I'm going to use Article 125, 133, and Article 134 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Ladies and gentlemen, I expect this will get Congress so excited they're going to start doing their job, and they're going to take my proposal to come up with a 28th Amendment regarding same-sex marriages. And then in addition to that, I'm going to ask them to do another amendment, and they've got to be separate, and that is no abortion with voluntary sex. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm at the point where I can't go any further. I've got 14 days left, and I found out there's a lot of states that are not a big issue about the write-in ballot, but there are some like Missouri, Kansas, and etc. I need presidential electorates in each one of the states. I got an interview here Monday with the Tribunal here in Lee Summit. After that interview, I am going to go to Jefferson City. I need donations to get me and my vice president around the United States in these 14 days left. And I also need presidential electorates. Just for Missouri alone, I need 6. If I get 4 or 5 that are there standing with me at Jefferson City at 3 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Then we can come back and get the other 6. But if they're not there, and if I don't get the donations, then this campaign's over with. Ladies and gentlemen, this is on you. I have done my part since 2006. I ran 2008. I ran also for the Missouri Senate in 2010. And now I've been doing this. And I've been doing this the whole year. I need your help. I feel this has been my ordained to do this. I can't help it, but I got this. It's like a curse, but it's something I know I got to do. And there's individuals out there right now, if you're watching this video, that all should also know that they're being asked to do something. Well, I'm asking you right now, if you're retired and you're not doing anything, then show up there in Jefferson City, and you got to be from each one of the districts. And let's get this thing going. Otherwise, I got to stop Monday. Dale Onofsky for president. Thank you.